Hi everyone! In 2015, we adopted our son, Emmanuel, who is now almost 5 years old. I get asked questions all the time about adoption when people find out that we adopted our son. So I'm going to take a few minutes today and answer 10 of the top questions I get asked about adoption and about our specific adoption. So let's get started. The first question I get asked is, why? Why adoption? Why did you guys adopt? There is a long, more complicated answer, and then there's a more simple answer. The simple answer is we're pro-life. We are pro-life in the womb, we're pro-life outside of the womb. So we believe that every child should be carried full term and born and raised because we are all image bearers. Even babies are image bearers of God, and they deserve to be treated with dignity and respect. Another reason we adopted is because God adopted us. We believe adoption is biblical. And when we're told to be imitators of God, that's something very practical that we can do. We can be the hands and feet of God and provide family structure, stability, love, and discipleship to a child who otherwise wouldn't have it. A bit of a more complicated answer of why we adopted is that we wanted to be parents. The whole story leading up to that is a bit long, and I would like to do a series on here of how we came to adopt our son more specifically. So that would be another story. But short answer there, we wanted to be parents, so we adopted. The second question I get asked a lot is, will you tell him he's adopted? And the answer is yes. He knows he's adopted. We have told him from the very beginning that he was adopted. His understanding of adoption is limited because he's 4. But my thought is the more normal you make it for a child, the less shocking or strange it will seem when they're older. He knows he grew inside someone else's tummy, that he had a first mama. He understands that. He knows he was adopted. Does he understand exactly what that means and all that that involves? No, but we answer the questions as they come, and they will come at age-appropriate times. He will ask the questions as he's curious and wants to know. We don't overload him with information, but we talk about it all the time. The next question we get asked a lot is kind of a two-parter. We get asked, why did his real mom not want him? Or why was he put up for adoption? I find these as opportunities to educate. First of all, I am his real mom. So getting that out of the way. It was not a matter of his birth mom not wanting him. I'm not going to go into all the details of his specific situation and why he became available for adoption or why his birth mom chose to set up an adoption plan for him. The easiest way to answer that without going into too much information is his birth mom was not in a position where she felt like she could parent him at the time. So she made the best decision she felt like she could make for him. And that was putting him in a family where he would be loved. Question number 4 is, what if they want him back? This was a question I was asked a lot near the very beginning. We adopted our son from birth, so we had this teeny tiny newborn, and a lot of people would ask me, what if they change their mind? What if they want him back? In fact, I still get asked this question, and he is almost 5. The answer to that is they can't do that. When an adoption is finalized in court, what they actually do is they print a brand new birth certificate for him. He doesn't just get a certificate of adoption, he gets a new birth certificate. His original birth certificate that had his birth mama's name on it is no longer a valid document. It's not a legal document anymore. It's more paraphernalia. His legal birth certificate has my name as his mom and Mitch's name as his dad. He's legally our child. Legally, it's as if I carried and gave birth to him. Nobody can come and take him away from us. So it is not a fear of ours that they're going to want him back someday because he's ours. He's our child. Another question I get asked is, where did he come from? I usually just say New York because that's where he was born and where we adopted him. I think I get asked this question because people are a little unsure of his ethnicity, and so they wonder if we adopted internationally, like from another country, but we did not. He was born in New York. Question number 6. Do you know anything about his background? I think this question also goes sort of with the other one. I think people are wondering about his ethnic background. The answer to that is mostly we know what his ethnic background is. I do think it'd be interesting to try one of those DNA tests just so I would know a little more and he would be able to answer that question someday, because to be honest, I don't really know. And the other part of that question, I think people are wondering, do I know anything about his medical background? And the answer to that is it's limited. We know some, and we can always ask his birth mom questions if we have any questions, but holistically, no. Now that's an answer that's very unique to our adoption situation. That's so different for each adoption. Sometimes people adopt and they have a full medical history on both mom and dad's side of the family. So that's, like I said, unique to each situation, but that's the answer for our adoption. Number 7, this is a question I got asked a lot near the very beginning when he was a newborn. But the question is there anything wrong with him? Because a lot of people, I think, have in their mind that the only reason someone would place their baby for adoption is if there was something wrong with it, like mentally or physically, like there was some condition, whether correctable or not correctable. And this is just not always true. Is there anything wrong with him? No. Like any child, he has his things that we have to deal with at the doctor or whatever. But no, he wasn't placed because he had something severely wrong with him. Question number 8. Was he expensive? You don't pay for a baby when you adopt. And I really think that this is a legitimate question, because when people hear about adoption, they hear, oh, adoption's so expensive, it costs so much money. So I think in people's minds, it's like, oh, you buy that baby. It is illegal. It is illegal to buy a human. That, my friends, is called trafficking. When you pay a lot of money for adoption, you do not buy that child. You do not pay his first mom and dad or whatever for that baby. What you are paying for is an attorney to handle all of the legal stuff that is way too complicated for me, and you have to have an attorney to finalize in court. You're paying court fees. Sometimes you're paying medical fees for birth mom. You pay for your home study in a lot of situations. Sometimes you're paying an agency for the work they're doing in matching and keeping your profile on hand. There's a lot of things that you pay for, but you are not paying for that child. So I hope that kind of answers that question. Question number 9. So do you think you'll want some of your own now? This is a tough question because I look at Emmanuel and he is my own. He is my own child. I am his real mom. Mitch is his real dad. He is our child. So the question of, do you want some of your own? I think what people are asking is, do you want to have biological children in a natural way? And the answer to that is, not really. I don't have a huge desire to do that right now. Do I want to have more of my own? Absolutely. I would love to have a house full of my own children. Do I care if they have my DNA or not? Absolutely not. I do not care if they have my genetics or my DNA. In fact, if they don't look like me, they probably are better off. Okay, question number 10. This is a question I have not been asked for a very long time. It was a question that I was asked very, very early on. And so I just kind of want to address it in case you have a friend who has adopted a newborn or you know someone who has, just for general information's sake. The question is, can I feed him? When a mom gives birth to her child naturally, often she nurses and she is the one who feeds that baby. It's the natural way of doing things. Also, when a woman gives birth to her child, she has carried that child in her womb for 9 months. that baby is attached to her. He's bonded to his mom. In an adoption situation, that bonding happens afterward. Holding that baby a lot near the beginning and feeding that baby, even though it's with a bottle, is so important for adoptive mom and baby so that they can connect. So I know that it's a different situation where, well, anyone can bottle feed a baby and people want to have the experience of holding the baby a lot or bottle feeding the baby. My suggestion is, in that first month, don't ask to hold the baby. It's a very different kind of situation than most newborns, where they've already had a chance to bond with their mom a little bit. If adoptive mom offers for you to hold that baby, go ahead and hold that baby. But unless she offers, my suggestion is don't ask. And just don't ask to feed the baby, because it is so important for bonding. Okay, so those are our top 10 questions that I get asked about adoption that I wanted to answer for you today. If you have any questions about our specific adoption or about adoption in general, I would love to answer those. I could answer them in a Q&A, or I will just answer them in the comments below if you want to drop me a line. That would be great. If you have a question that you're not comfortable leaving in the comments, you can DM me on Instagram or by email. Both are in the description box below. Thank you for checking out this video. I hope this was an educational video for you, and that maybe questions you had about our adoption have been answered, or questions about adoption in general have been answered in this. Also, as you can see, I am sporting our family adoption t-shirt. We have these t-shirts available for sale if you're interested in buying one. I have the link in the description box below. They come in all different colors and styles and sizes. They are actually so comfortable, and I'm not just saying that because we're selling them, but they are some of the comfiest t-shirts, and they are great conversation starters. I know tons of people who have bought them, and they said every time they wear it out, they get asked questions about it, and it really opens the doors to talk more about adoption and to normalize it a little more in society, and just get people talking about it more and asking those questions and educating people on the topic. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you in our next video. I have some neat stuff coming up, some more educational material, and I hope that you come back and tune in to learn more. Bye.